Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of EmpireJeffTV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, who apparently forgot to turn on the TV while I had a whole 2 minutes of intro playing here. I was so excited to listen to this post game. But what's going on? What's going on, y'all? Appreciate y'all tuning in. This is the Dodgers post game show live on EmpireJeffTV, man. After the Dodgers went into Queens, New York, and played bully ball once again over the New York little brother Mets, 8-0 in Flushing, Queens, man. And just had a feeling, man. Had a feeling. What a day to get it done. And like I said, when it was hard to have confidence in Walker Buehler because of the way his season went. But like I told you guys post-game, if he gave us one today and we get to the World Series and he gives us one then he reshapes his whole damn narrative. And he did his damn thing tonight. 18 swing and miss tonight for Walker Buehler. He reached back. And like I told you guys, he needs to tap into a little bit. Didn't have to have the blow away stuff as far as velocity, but the way he mixed things in. And if you heard the Mets manager even said in the dugout, he even said he's going to that knuckle curve to get us out. They knew it. They knew it was coming, and they still couldn't hit it, man. 4 innings pitched for Walker Buehler, 3 hits, 2 walks, 6 Ks, 0 runs, nada, zilch, donut, nothing from Walker Buehler, man. One more time for Walker Buehler, y'all. He gave us the start we needed to get, and I understand there was debate over the bullpen game in game 2, and I told you they were setting it up. Their strategy, we got to see if it works. They were setting it up to have 3 starters go on the road in New York with the chance to win 3 straight out there, and check box 1, right? Mission accomplished in the first game. And Walker Buehler did his thing. The offense took a little while. They kind of got going there in the second after a couple of like little just rollers to the pitcher, man. And Severino just couldn't. Damn near Gold Glove fielding pitcher struggled to get the baseball a couple of times. The Dodgers made him pay. Max Muncy, incredible game today. Shohei Ohtani went villain went villain in Gotham, like I told you he was gonna do. And it's just Mookie Betts has been robbed more than anyone I've seen these playoffs, but he came in and got it after being robbed by an incredible play by Lindor. But outside of that, man, Kike MF Hernandez again. Keektober doing his thing out there once again, man. And just even with guys struggling up until the point where Ohtani, he did get a walk, right? But Ohtani, I was frustrated because they weren't stealing bases. Like, why aren't these guys running on these guys? It was frustrating. But Kike did his thing again to give a separation to make it 4-0. Ohtani absolutely murdered a baseball to make it 7-0. And then we got a max clap, and he just hit that thing a mile into the air, into the bat signal, and 8-0. So the Dodgers have won 8-0. They've lost 7-3, and they have won 8-0. I'm not the best in the world of math, but that's 20 runs to 7 in this series, man. And getting it done. This bullpen again out there flexing on them, bringing in Kopech to give them no chance there. Hello, good night, goodbye. Bullpen in. Dodgers have the lead up to 4. It's pretty much a wrap, and they did again tonight. And incredible game. Dave Roberts managed an incredible game once again, and it just was one heck of a win, man. Grinded out. They exploded later in the game, but I told you guys on pregame. I told you guys the first 6 outs. I don't care how they're got. The first 6 outs, even if it was in traffic, right? I would have preferred no one in scoring position, but I said those first 6 outs. I don't care the scenario, as long as he gets them without giving up a run. It's going to put us in fantastic shape. Walker Buehler did it. He absolutely did it, and he got 12 outs. Right, he went up there, did his thing, 4 innings. No way in hell they were going to let him see the lineup for a third time, nor should they have. That was brilliant, bringing in their closer basically to make sure immediately after that to go after Lindor and Vientos and Nimmo and just shut the door on them. And then you had the rest of the Dodger bullpen come in and do their absolute thing, man. So incredible performance all the way around. It was frustrating early on. They had runners in scoring position, bases loaded, couldn't capitalize. You had Ohtani on second, Mookie on first. Neither one of them were running, and I felt like they could have scored on that Muncy single that Ohtani misread a little bit had they stolen the base off Severino. But it is what it is, right? But outside of that, they capitalized elsewhere. They did their thing. They got the win. And I told you guys it was going to take everything. It was going to take a strong start from Walker Buehler. I said he didn't have to be great, even though he was. He just couldn't be bad, and he wasn't. I said a non-bad performance for Buehler. The bats need to wake up, and the pen needs to be the pen again. The pen was a gem again, and we got the win. Literally, like, my man Chris hit me up. He's like, bro, like literally everything you said on pregame happened. I was like, this is exactly what we have to do to win. It's no secret. This is exactly what we have to do to win. Our starters have to survive 3 or 4 innings clean and let our pen come in, but the bats have to wake up. Now, Kike's home run on the box score looks like it didn't matter because they didn't score a run on the other end. But when you're facing a 4-0 deficit versus a 2-0 deficit, your approach at the plate is different. And then 7-0 and then 8-0. So at the end of the day, even though they didn't score a run, that Kike 2-run home run just took the life out of him for a stretch. And then Shohei just took their whole family's souls with his clap. So incredible performance by everyone, by the Los Angeles Dodgers today. And the Mets, I'm telling you, if you want to beat the Mets, you have to replace their belief with doubt. In game 1, they put a little doubt there. And I'm telling you, I told you guys this after game 2, even though we lost 7-3, it felt like a wasted opportunity. If I was the Dodgers, I was feeling good going into a game 3 because they had endless chances in game 2. They could have won that game, even though they got down 6-0. They absolutely could have won that game. Now, they didn't. Credit to the Mets for that. But outside of that, going into this game tonight, I felt good about it. And the Dodgers should have too. Just like I feel good going into a game 4 with Yamamoto and then potentially a game 5 with Flaherty. Now, same rules apply. Yamamoto's got to have a good, strong 4 innings. The bat's got to come to play. The pen's got to be a gem. Same thing with Flaherty. But they did their thing tonight. They got it done. And I can't say enough about Walker Buehler, man. I told you guys that San Diego game was not his fault. It wasn't his fault. It just snowballed. It fell apart after those errors. And I feel like if they had his back defensively, I feel like we win game 3. And then we send him home in game 4 at Petco. Didn't happen. It'd be that way, right? Comes in today, defense had his back, the bats had his back, the pen had his back, and we put a win in the win column, baby. 6 more to go. 6 more to go. 2 more to the World Series, 6 more for the whole shebang, man. And what a time to be alive, man. What a time to be a fan of the Los Angeles Dodgers, man. Can't wait till tomorrow now. And I think Friday is like the early game. Unless I'm tripping, right? I think Friday's the early game. But I was watching the end of the game. I got so many messages on my phone now. I can't even look. Came over here, set up the post game. And my man Chris got me a bat signal post, posted that up there. People were looking for me, so I had to come up here, man. So appreciate y'all tuning in once again. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers post game show on EmpireJeffTV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, live from Los Angeles, California, where the Dodgers went into Flushing, Queens, New York, and won 8-0 tonight, man. So talk to me, chat. How we feeling, man? How we feeling? Let me get fire emojis in the chat for this Dodgers win. I'm going to get to these chats in a minute. I haven't read a single one yet. I'm going to get to them. Shout out to the Dodgers, man. In the meantime, drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter, rocking heavy early as always. I appreciate you guys, man. And man. What a game. What a game. And once again, hold on a second here. Stream just loves to delete my posts here that I do pre-stream, I guess. I don't know what's your beef with this StreamYard and links. I don't understand. So give me 1 second here. And there we go. All right. Also, make sure to get your MLB, NBA, and NFL gear by using our link. Make sure to use our link to get special discounts. And your purchase also helps support the channel. Your order experience does not change. Just the good people at Fanatics who we partnered with. When you take care of them by ordering through us, they take care of us because you ordered through us. It's a great way to help out the channel while get yourself some good discounts and some good gear. Tap that link, get some good gear, support the channel. You can also become a member on the show. You can click the join button or the link in the description to become a member for less than the cost of lunch. You can become a member for an entire month. Great way to support the channel. Member-only videos, member-only vlogs. Go to become a member over here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. And let me get to some of your guys' chats here, man. I was excited that, that 2-0 lead did not feel safe. The 4-0 felt safer. But the way this team has just been so resilient and the way they've come back on everyone, you gotta be mindful of that. They did not come back in game 1. They did not come back in game 3. They got ahead in game 2. Felt like the Dodgers were going to be the one to come back on them. And it's getting closer, man. You can't quite smell it yet. You can sense it. You can sense it, man. You can sense it. Can't quite smell it yet, but it's getting closer. I don't want to disrespect the Mets and make them seem like they're a pushover, but I'm very confident in the Dodgers to be able to get at bare minimum one of these next 2 games and win this in 5 or 6. I had them winning in 5 before the series started. I still have confidence in that. Obviously it wouldn't be a shocker if the Mets extended it, but I definitely do still have confidence in that. So once again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. One Peruvian guy, what's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in, man. Tony Lee, what's going on, man? 2 wins away. Actual factuals, man. Joe says, what's going on, Joe? 6 wins away from the main goal. Absolutely, man. Go for the sweep in NY. We will love it. We will love it. Hey, I just want them to win. Get out of this in advance and get out of this as healthy as possible, man. We got Aaron Addick. What's going on? He said, woo, let's get it, my guy. Let's get it, man. Buell Dog, man, did his thing. Did his absolute thing. Chris, the art director, what's going on, my brother? Appreciate you as always, man. Thank you for tuning in. Was talking to Chris a lot through the game. Was talking to Chris. Was talking to Joe. Was talking to my guy Brandon throughout the game. Man, I've got so many texts I haven't been able to get back to yet. If you're watching the show and you text me, I'll get back to you as soon as this is over, man. I had to get the show set up. I responded to as many people as I could and had to lock in here, man. Joe says, win both in New York so we can avoid the bullpen in game 6. Yeah, man. Please tell me Joe was hopping on tonight. If Joe wants to, I'll bring him up. I'm just doing my whole pre-thing here. I just went in and I didn't talk to him about it. I just came in and pressed record. So Joe wants to come up. I'll get him up for a bit. Laker Girl, what's going on, Laker Girls? He says, yes, let's go Dodgers, man. Dante, what's up, brother? He said, yeah, nice game. Absolutely. Aaron, let Jeff know I'm available when he's ready. All right, cool. There we go. I get you, Joe. I'll get you. Jeff, get this man up. The people want him, they'll get him. Big Baby, what's going on, Big Baby? I hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to Big Baby Sports, man. He's got a channel, does good work over there, as well as Joe and my guys over at Lakers Fast Break. Make sure to subscribe to them as well. Aaron says Shohei and Max homers were moonshots. Yeah, Max's was actually higher, which was crazy, man. Shohei absolutely demolished one, and then Max went up there and pulverized one, and it wasn't as long because it was just so high in the air, and that thing just went crazy, man. And that was no, and it just an absolute no doubter once again, right into the night there. Which Joe had a quote on. I don't want to say it. I'll leave it for Joseph Soro there. But yeah, an incredible win tonight, man. And I'm going to continue to give Dave Roberts his flowers. And like I said, for me, he earned the right to take a chance in game 2. I wasn't going to just bail on him and give up on him after that. Because like I said, I feel throughout the course of these playoffs that he has earned the right to do what he needed to do. And he's done it, man. He's absolutely done it. I appreciate you, Big Baby, man. Gentleman sweep in New York. What's going on, Miguel? Appreciate you as well. Yeah, man. Gentleman sweep will be fantastic. What's going on, Blue Magic? Appreciate you as well. That's 4 shutouts as postseasons too. Yep. With a staff that we were told was going to be garbage and was going to be trash, right? They told us our arms were going to be the problem, and we can't halfway hold you guys. We thought that, right? That's our biggest fear. Even going into tonight, we had to say we knew we were going to get a Walker Buehler start in these series, right? So, it's great to see him come through in these moments. I'm not just happy for us and the Dodgers. I'm happy for Walker too, man. What's going on? Edu, hope I say that right. LFG, talk to him. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. LA for life. What's up, my brother? So let's effing go. I got work too early, but you, my boy. So let's go, Empire. Appreciate you, man. We're building this community over here, man. You know, we did a good job building it for basketball. I've been telling y'all all year we was going to build this in baseball. I know you were stuck with some terrible coverage elsewhere tonight, man, but we here tonight. You can't clout stream baseball, man. They see right through it. So appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. This is for the baseball people, know what it is, man. LA for life says, let's go Dodgers. We LA. Absolutely, man. Last 3 starters pitched gems. And that's why I was for them with the bullpen in game 2. I wanted the 3 starters on the road in New York to get these wins, baby. That's exactly what I wanted, man. HC Picks, what's going on, my guy? Dodgers paid for my rent tonight. That's what I'm talking about, man. Bloodhound said Dodgers pitch. What's going on, Bloodhound? Dodgers pitching lights out. Ohtani gets that 3-run shot. Will be great for his confidence. The villain has arrived in Gotham, ladies and gentlemen. The villain has arrived in Gotham. What's going on, Lewis? What's good, my big brother Jeff? Let's go Dodgers. Dodgers effing they getting the likes up and subscribe to the channel. If you are new, tell a friend or a family member about the channel. Here we go. Facts, man. Appreciate you. Mission, what's going on? Mission Kopech is one of my favorites. Mission accomplished. Yo, Kopech's one of my favorites too, man. You know, so there's something dangerous about a guy who listens to Christian rap before games, man. He's locked in over there, right? But Kopech went in there, absolutely did his thing, and I've been holding this receipt in my pocket. I don't want to play it yet. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm saving this one. Man. Let's see here. Endorphin. What's going on, Endorphin? Please get on the panel with Jess Endorphin. I got you guys. Let me get through these chats because me and Joe are both blabbermouths. And once I bring him on, we're not going to see these chats. So let me get through these real quick and I will get Joe on. I want to respect your guys' time too and get to these chats. Joe is warming up in the bullpen. I got you guys, man. Let's see. Endorphin, let them know I'm here. Salute to Jeff and Joe. Appreciate you, Condor. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate all you guys, man. Let's see. Imagine how lethal the lineup will be once Teoscar starts hitting. Yeah, and I've told you guys, man, these headphones just make my glasses dance on my face, man. Whoa. Like I said, I told you guys, I know for a fact, like, that the Dodgers are waiting to see how Teo performs this offseason. They've talked. They know he wants to be here. They want him here. They just want to see how he performs because he's never been here either. And they believe it's going to be a long-term fit. Both parties have mutual interest in a long-term 3-4, whatever it is, deal. But the Dodgers really wanted to see this play out. And I really don't blame them. And maybe that's adding some pressure to him right now. But at the same time, he's got to be able to perform in these moments if he wants that bag. So he's going to get it if he does it. And if he doesn't do it, he's still going to get it, just probably to a lesser extent. Much better showing from Smith tonight. He had better at bats. Smith has had moments. He had that big 2-run home run against the Padres in the final series against them. He hit a big home run in San Diego. Wheeler's going to do something. He's going to do something. And they moved the lineup around. A lot of people are saying bat him ninth. I don't want that. I want him. The Dodgers are trying to hide him between mid and bottom for the simple fact that the guy before Shohei has to be able to get on or be a threat. And Kike is batting north of 300 for the postseason. He's feast or famine a lot of the time, but it's been a lot of feast there, right? So Edman has just been incredible once again. Even his outs are great. Just an incredible baseball player. The Dodgers are so lucky to have him. H. Davis, salute to you, brother. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Boys all take turns winning. 8-0 again is laying the wood at this point. Yep, facts, man. AOG, what's going on, AOG? Good win from your boys. Yeah, facts, man. Now you guys play it again tomorrow. That series is gonna start getting interesting in Cleveland. Yanks get that. It's over, man. It's over. Aaron says, we want JoJo. I got you guys. I promise. I got you guys. I just want to get through these chats. Let me see here. Blue Magic says, this was a statement win. Facts. Let's see. Lillard says, Joe told me not to worry. Sorry, word. What's going on, Lifted? I told you about Walker Buehler. You did. And you know what? I understand people on both sides of the fence of that. I really do. Because for the simple fact that he's had really bad moments this year, but I feel ever since that Atlanta game, he's kind of done enough to where I didn't think he was going to be terrible. I did not expect this. I did not. I'd be lying to you if I said I did, but we got it and I'll take it. First postseason, I've really been locked in, been dominant. Yeah. And that's, I've been telling people, man, I told everybody since December, this was going to be one of the best postseasons we ever saw. And it absolutely is, man. So you ready for this collision course on the BX? I absolutely am, man. I absolutely am. Servino pitched fairly well, by the way. He did pitch fairly well. He was under a lot of stress. As you can tell, he's a fairly good defensive pitcher, and he botched some ground balls there to him, maybe the nerves, but he didn't pitch terrible, but he didn't pitch good enough to win. What is it with Ohtani turning super with runners on? Yeah, man, it's like a different focus. I think it's Ohtani, obviously, but I also think it's the pitchers knowing that number, and they're just trying to get him, right? And he's seeing pitches to hit because there's guys on and there's guys coming behind him, whereas there's no one on ahead of him, and they're like, okay, we could toy with him a little bit. It's in baseball, everything is about the approach in the box and on the mound. So the approach in which the pitcher faces Ohtani is also different when there's no runners on versus when they are. And clearly, Ohtani is lighting up when they pitch from the stretch. And it's just becoming almost automatic, just about as automatic as his hitting with no runners on is becoming. And those are still a trash stretch, right? Still trash stretches when he can't get on when no one's on. But like I said, it's God level when people are on. And in order for that to work right now, people got to get on. He's going to break out of it eventually. But we're halfway through the playoffs already. So he's got to get out of this. Rock my Buhler jersey tonight, and he came through. He's a dog. Your chat. Okay, is my internet tripping? All right, there we go. All right, says Jeff, I doubted y'all last series. I think a lot of people did. I had my doubts after game 2. I had my doubts after game 3. I do not doubt this team anymore. It was just that series, man, that matchup, that series, everything that went into it. It was so stressful. I've never felt stress in this series. Never. Not game 1, not game 2 after a loss, not game 3 here. It didn't feel like 2 runs would be enough, but I wasn't stressed like I was against the Padres, man. Just wasn't. Friday is the early game. Yes, sir. Okay, Search, what's going on, brother? Search, appreciate you tuning in here, man. Let's see. Everyone talking to each other. Let me mind my business here. Absolutely. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification. Drop a like on the video if you guys have not done so already, and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done so already. Reg, what's going on, brother? Reg, how are you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Man, what a win, Reggie. What a win, man. A lot of people don't know that Reggie rocks with baseball. He's known as a basketball guy. But Reggie's a baseball guy too, man. Me and Reg were talking about Ohtani coming to the Dodgers before it happened. I kept telling him, and he's like, why are you acting like we got him already? I'm like, Reg, he's coming, bro. He's coming. We got him. We got him. Told you, Reg. Make sure to go to the locker room, man. Subscribe to the locker room, man. That's my guy over there. Southern Comfort. Let's get Joe Soro on the panel. Joe will be here, guys. Joe will be here. Let's see. Let's see. Ryan says, what's up, Ryan? Freddie is the silent hero of the game with those two great plays at first base. Plus, he had a hit as well. All doing that on one leg. Salute. Facts. He had two great scoops, man. Two great scoops. A throw by Edman, and I think the other one were they both Edman or was one Muncy? Two great scoop plays there at first, just in time for the runner and keeping his foot on the bag as well, man. Incredible plays by Freddie, who's now going on his third week of his ankle issue, man. It's clearly way worse than they let on, and he is absolutely battling out there. I got to give props to Nimmo, too. Nimmo's out there playing left field. He was struggling even during his at-bat, man. I respect that even on the other side, man. The guy's giving everything he can out there to win, man. Chris, the art director, my brother Chris, man. Jeff, remind the people you called this game exactly, especially the Ohtani bomb. Yeah, I mean, Chris, for me, I feel like the blueprint for how the Dodgers are going to win is pretty much locked in, right? The starters have to get them to 4. The bullpen has to dominate, and the bats have to get north of 4. I used to think the bats had to get 6 to win. With the way this bullpen has been and the way our starting pitching has molded a little correctly here, I've lowered that number down to 4. So I was like, so for me, if the Dodgers win, I knew it was going to be north of 4. Buhler was going to have to go 3 to 4. Penn was going to have to dominate. And as soon, I just felt Shohei was going to get him today. I felt Shohei was going to come out of this today. I told you, I said he was going to go full villain in Gotham. He did. And I expect that to continue now. I expect that to continue. Appreciate you, though, Chris. I'm always right sometimes. Shando says, the reason I don't like, he's back. Yeah. The reason I don't like Flaherty is because he said despite being an LA native, he can't root for the Lakers because he's a Kobe guy, and don't like Braun, dude, one of those guys, great pitcher. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. That's not my mentality. I don't understand that mentality. I rock with Kobe heavy, my favorite player of all time. Braun's a Laker. I rock with him. But that's probably why he wasn't living here. Now that he's here, he's just one of those guys. Like, I know people who haven't been able to watch a Laker game since Kobe left. It's not even a Braun thing. They just can't watch it. And it was one thing that he left, and then after he passed away. So it's to each their own, right? To each their own. Everyone fans differently. What's going on, Dante? Joe, Dave Roberts cooking, right? He absolutely is cooking. Hey, man, and you got to give credit when credit is due, because if Dave was out here messing up, they'd be coming for him like crazy, man. They tried to come for him at the game, too, y'all. Y'all just Johnny come latelys, man. Mr. What have you done for me latelys all the time with this? What's going on, Craig? Appreciate you, man. Let's see. Kike Mr. Clutch. Keektober, y'all. Keektober. Let's see. Day Tran. I hope I said that correctly. Appreciate you. He said, go Dodger. Absolutely. I saw a clip of Flaherty fighting some reporters over the velocity of his fastball. Flaherty's funny, man. He's got a weird tone to him, too. So I'm going to send this link to Joe now. I'm trying to catch up on all these chats, guys. Like I said, when I have, you guys know me, I like to read the chats. And when I've got panel people on, I don't get to get to them. So I was trying to knock some of these out. So, Joe, if you're still in here, I'm sending you the email now. And let me get back to these chats real quick before we get to that here. So let's see. Lakers Dodgers for life said job's not finished. Job not finished, no doubt. But they on the clock, right? They got to work. They got things going. They did things. And this is why I wanted those 3 starters on the road. This is why. This is why the Dodgers wanted it. It has to work out, but this is why they wanted it. This is why I wanted it. Craig says, Muncy put the cherry on top. Ohtani filled the bowl with ice cream. Facts. Muncy had himself a great game tonight, man. Absolutely great game tonight, for sure, man. Let's see. Nico, what's going on? Nico said, what's up, Jeff? At least one LA team is going to be successful and possibly win a chip this year. I didn't even do a Lakers stream yesterday, man. I was like, let me do the Dodgers. It was an off day, but I've got plenty of the whole season to do the Lakers. I am absolutely locked in on the Dodgers right now. I'll get to the Lakers. There's plenty of people covering them. I'm not missed right now, right? So plenty of good people doing that. I am locked in on the Dodgers, and I'm enjoying every second of it. Appreciate you, Nico. Off topic, big ballers back. Zo2 back. Yeah, Zo back. What's going on, Outlaw? Where have this Dodger team been the last few postseasons? This is exactly what I expect to see from a team with the best record in baseball. Let's keep it up and keep winning. Well, they've been is they haven't had the starting pitching. They haven't had the depth of the lineup. So we've had games where all of them couldn't hit, but then you just need one or two to get going, and it's enough. And you know, Kike doing his thing, and you having to tell just the pressure that this lineup, even when they struggle, it just, you know, they're still there. It adds problems to it. Trey Alday, what's going on, man? Salute to you as well. Let's see. You're trying to catch up these, man. Extra lessons. What's going on, Extra? Hey, Jeff, you won me over as a Dodger fan. I hope I'm welcome. Hey, you are definitely welcome, man. Appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, pull through, come through. Don't matter who you're a fan of, man. We talk the sport overall. If you want to talk your team, you can talk your team. If you don't like the Dodgers, it's okay, man. All we ask is be respectful, be kind to each other. Let's talk the game and keep it moving. You know what I mean? So we don't typically deal or do with the nonsense. We typically don't do that. Speaking of nonsense, I see Joe backstage right now. So let's go ahead and let's go add some turf to the show here, man. Let's add some turf to the show here, man. What's going on, Joseph? Mr. Joseph Soro. How you doing, sir?
Great evening. I was expecting a closer game just because it's the first game in New York. New York made some errors in the, the second inning?
Yeah.
But not enough to where it should have blown up the way it did. And there's some talk that the Ohtani homer was kind of low-hanging fruit type play. For those of you who haven't been watching the Mets, a 4-run lead hasn't been very, very safe. Now, I know that the pitching is good, and that also has to play in that discussion. I don't believe the Dodgers would have. They probably would have won 4-0 if he didn't get that homer. However, what it does is it probably gets him out of his funk. I think that'll get him out of his funk. He hasn't homered since game 1 against San Diego. And I'm thinking this probably gets him out of that funk where he's not hitting. Striking out is the part that I'm more upset at. If he was getting close ones, I'd be a little bit more
like an Edman out, right? Edman has good outs, you know.
Exactly. And Edman, I mean, come on. If your 8 and 9 hitters are doing this, you're done. You're over. You're not going to beat the Dodgers. If Edman and Kike do what they do at the 8 and 9, you're done.
And if Buhler does this,
Buhler is so mentally focused. It's nuts. He is telling himself, you are not going to just go away. I'm going to be great, and I'm going to come at you, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that in any high leverage situation that I'm going to beat your butt. He is one of the few guys that really is intense. You don't see a lot of intense pitchers like that, at least starters, around anymore. Most are pretty cerebral. But this is the 3rd straight starter that has pitched extremely well. And any game right now is high intensity, important. So game 1, Flattery doing what he did, that was huge. Yamamoto, obviously, in game 5, huge. If Yamamoto dominates tomorrow, I'm going to be curious to see how the Mets come into game 5. And the only concern I have is the bullpen game in game 6. We all know that's probably going to happen. If that happens, it's going to be very, very tight. And you're looking at possibly a 7th game. And you're going to have Butane probably pitching that. So I'd like to avoid the game 7, but we are looking at likely a bullpen game in game 6. I would really like the starters to finish this off. But can we expect, what is this, the 3rd shutout in these playoffs, or the 4th?
It's 3rd or 4th.
Jeez, are we really that greedy? We're going to ask to do this for the next 2 starts? I don't know. Just win the games, I guess. Get out of New York. Get some rest, Right now, it's looking like New York, the Bronx, New York team looks like they might be 1 win away from probably sweeping. I'm going to take a flyer and say that maybe Cleveland wins Game 3, just the last ditch effort, but I don't think they're gonna go beyond 5.
I don't. Baseball, you never know, man.
You never know.
The Yankees can show up in Cleveland and just be absolutely cold. So
Mhm.
we'll see how that game goes tomorrow. I want to talk about one thing about Walker Buehler that I think Kike gets all his talk about what he does in October. It's time we start talking about Walker Buehler because he has the clutch DNA for these games here. This was his 18th playoff start, I believe. And I feel like John Smoltz and Davis did a great job of talking about how he's not out there afraid. He's not out there. It's not nerves. It's mechanical. It's learning who he is now with these deficiencies since his injury. You could argue that this may extend his career longer, being this type of pitcher, as opposed to a flamethrower who's going to continue to get injured. If he's able to continue to get that knuckle curve over when they know it's coming for his punch out pitch and still get them, if this becomes, that pitch that he can just go to whenever he's in a jam, then even when they know it's coming, then this is going to take him to another level as far as extending his career. We were talking like 2 months ago about this may be it for him. And now they hand him the ball in the first game on the road in the NLCS, and he just delivers. And I think he struck out 2 in the bottom of the first. He struck them both out to end that inning. And I also loved him talking that trash to JD after striking out Lindor as he's walking past him, telling him to swing the bat, JD, swing the bat. Like, he's his ex-teammate. He wasn't being like a punk out there. That's his boy, right? He was just talking some trash. But you have these Walker Buehlers, you have these Kike Hernandezes, you have these Michael Kopechs, Blake Trinans, Evan Phillips, Banda, Muncy, over and over and over again, cast-offs from other teams. Even Brazier drove me a little nuts today, but he got that ground ball double play. All of these guys, Joe, were cast-offs on other teams, thrown away, trash. And this is why this is one of the things that I feel like Roberts and the Dodgers never get credit for, is every time, for the most part, someone throws a guy away and the Dodgers bring him in. Even Chris Taylor for a good stretch of his career before it went off a cliff. There's a two side to this. One, the Dodgers are able to fit them into their machine, into their system, and not only get something out of them, but get something out of long stretches from them at low dollar amount value. Second is they hold on to their guys and turn them from struggling to being effective come the playoffs. You look at someone like Kike, who doesn't do great during the regular season. They wrote it out. He turned it around at the end. Walker Buehler. All of these guys, it's both sides of the coin when it comes to the Dodgers. I give Dave Roberts a lot of credit for that. And that's one of my biggest things why I've stuck up for him over all these years, is because of all the guys he's turned around. And people can't just give him blame. They've got to give him credit. But Walker Buehler and all these bullpen guys, Joe, were cast-offs at one point. And they're out there which may be one of the greatest bullpens we've ever seen in October, Joe, if they finish the job at this level.
Yes, I don't think that's hyperbole. I believe that should they win 6 more games, this is the best bullpen I've ever seen. The Dodgers have had some really, really bad luck with bullpens since 2008. They've had guys blow major games, Madsen and Bronxton and those types. And of course, to some degree, Jansen before Urias kind of covered them in 2020. Going back to Roberts, this is the issue with interpretation in anything in life. Sports, of course, even more. If you do things that are smart, it doesn't have to be. It's not going to be like what people went to in Game 2. Everyone was like, "Why'd you pitch Knack?" Dude, at some point, one of these guys is going to allow a hit, and it's going to cost the Dodgers. This is how it works sometimes. to sit there and say, oh, why did he put Knack in? Of course, it looks like that after he allowed a grand slam. My issue with Roberts is going with the analytics when he doesn't have to, when he's got someone who's dealing, when he's got someone that's got a flow. And I know that there's a spot, no matter what, that you got to stop, but that has to be dictated by the game. And that's where he has struggled. This playoff run, he has coached better than I've ever seen him. And it's not because things are working. It's the things that, for example, putting in Kopech in the third inning, putting in Kopech in the sixth. These are smart next level stuff. I'm sure that there's some analytics involved in that, but I don't care about that. He's the manager. And he also did things in this run that we knew weren't analytics. Leaving Walker in and setting up the bunts. No analytics tells you to bunt and get an out.
No. They tell you.
So it's over. It's over. And those were huge bunts. Huge. So much so that we almost wanted it tonight, too, to shift the guy. I can't remember what inning it was, but we had a guy in first and second. And right away, people are like, bunt. Go ahead and you can't bunt with Muncy. So it's nice to have the option. And I'm not mad at Roberts for not doing that. Just like I said, it was Muncy. How do you do that, especially with the way he was batting? Thank you, God. Thank you, Muncy, for being patient. I don't know what happened 2 weeks ago where he just was not being patient. That's his game. Smoltzy said something really funny. I didn't even think about it. He goes, he either hits home runs, walks, or strikes out.
Yeah.
Isn't that
that's what they got him for? That's what they got him for. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot. But anyways, the team is somewhat depleted too. I want everyone to remember this because this is very important. Should they win 6 more games, this was a depleted Dodger team, not just Freddie's ankle or Rojas. Now he's out for the year, by the way. He's going to have hernia surgery after the season. Forget about all that. May, Goslin, Kershaw, forget about that. I'm talking about in terms of depleted, I'm talking about like you have really no ace. Not even one, really. They're looking like they're going to be Yamamoto being one. Buhler, he's pulling everything out of the bag, but Yamamoto is supposed to be your ace. And you're happy that a starter is going 4 innings. That is as depleted as you can get because you would really like to get 6. So with that, should they win this year? I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here, but I think I have never seen a devastation of injuries like this year. And then they've always had issues like this, but this was even worse than 2023. So imagine if they can finally even that out and actually go into next season and the postseason, hopefully, without having this complete destruction of health.
And add to the bullpen and add to the rotation. It's going to be even scarier. It's going to be even scarier. And one thing I want to talk real quick, I want to shout out my guy, Billy Vaughn, man. I see you, bro. That's my little brother right here, man. It's one of the guys that actually played for me on my travel ball teams. I see you dropping the name in there, man. Wildcat Energy. I see you. Appreciate you, man. That's my little brother. Love you, Billy, man. Hope you're doing well. Call me, man. Appreciate you. One thing real quick I want to say is this. I think you hit it on the head from the standpoint of we do not have an ace from a starting pitcher perspective. But I'm going to tell you, we kind of flipped the script on the MLB because we have an ace. The difference is we get to use our ace every game. And our ace is our bullpen. And that's where we flip the script on everybody, is because everyone can send their ace out there once every 5 days, 4 in a pinch. We have our ace available every day if needed. And that's what's crazy. Once the Dodgers figured that out, it changed everything because they basically have openers and then they go to their guys. And it's like a fist, right? Here's an inning, there's an inning, there's an inning, and then pow, right? So this isn't sustainable for an entire season. But this is basically what their ace has become in the postseason, is their pen, because we don't have one from a starting perspective. Yamamoto and Flaherty have pitched like it, and Yamamoto is probably going to become one eventually. I don't know if Flaherty ever will be an ace. I think he'll probably always be a 2-3 guy, depending how deep your rotation is. But this bullpen has reached ace level status. And the reason you know it is, you remember looking at a lineup, Joe, when Manny when Rivera came into the game, when Enter Sandman was Mr. Enter Sandman was playing, when Randy Johnson was on the mound, the hitters looked different. Their eyes looked different. Their approach was different. They were up there hoping to hit the ball, not looking to hit the ball. When you're going up against an ace, a killer. When the Dodgers get to that pen, the team in the batter's box looks different. Their approach changes, and not like an adjustment like you do because it's just going from a righty to a lefty. I'm talking about mentality wise, like, I got to hope to hit one of these. And it's totally different. And when you see an offense look like that, when the pen comes in, that has to put the battery in the back of those bullpen guys, because they can see the fear on them. And all they got to do is throw strikes. Don't miss strikes within the zone. Don't throw it down the middle. Don't feed them. Get them to swing, but get them to swing at strikes. Then once you get them down 0-1, 0-2, or 2-2, you can get them to chase. One other thing that I like what the Dodgers did in this game is, I was talking to one of my boys earlier, and I was like, one of these guys need to try to ambush a couple of pitches early in the count, because the Mets got to stop thinking they can get a free strike on the first pitch. Everyone knows the Dodgers are looking to work a count. So they're going up there and saying, we're going to get a free strike on you. You got to take that away, even if it's an out. And Lux did it. So that one that Lux got, and everyone like, that was a horrible at bat. I loved it, because I think 4 of the next 5 at bats were first pitch balls, because they're like, they may swing first pitch now. They may be coming after us. They may look to ambush. And that's what you got to do. Why everyone knows the Dodgers are the absolute best in taking pitches and working counts. You can't just give away free first pitch strikes, though. And that's another layer they worked in today. And those other batters benefited from it down the road from there.
The bullpen has almost turned into 4 closers.
Yep.
So you have Kopech, you have Phillips, Triton, and then before Vesia got hurt, he was a closer. He was the left-handed closer. Banda has picked up this. Looks like he's picking up the slack a little bit there. Thank God. I would love to have Vesia should they make it to the World Series. That would really, really make me feel even more comfortable. Although most of their big hitters are righties anyway, so maybe it wouldn't be that catastrophic, but it'd be nice to still have them there. I've never seen this. It may have happened, but I don't remember any team since I've been watching baseball. I just never seen. I saw Urias pitch 3 closeout innings sometimes. He did that twice to win the championship. I hadn't seen that either at that time. The game has changed so much, and it continues to change to the point where I'm watching, and you and I were conversing on text messaging. This game is seriously a game-by-game basis in terms of who these teams are in a lot of ways. It's just it's hard to really you're sitting there and you're up 4-0 and you're worried a little bit still.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why am I still nervous? I know the Mets come back. I get it. But it's not even the Mets. It's every team. You're up 4-0 in the past, it's over. You're like, oh, pitcher's going to finish at 7th, 8th, and
shut him down.
And it's over, right? Now, the starting pitcher comes out in the 5th at let's say normally if he pitches well, maybe 6th, and then you're in that mode of, okay, well, we need 9 outs. It's still there, and it's still there even though we know that our bullpen is very good. So the high stress, I can only imagine how much stress these guys have to deal with. And the dissection and the analytics of baseball really truly has changed the game so much where you just don't really know. The Dodgers can also debunk that here in the next 2 days. If they end up winning 5-0 tomorrow and 3-0 the next day to close this out, then you can probably say this was as dominant a 5-game series as you can have. And I'm definitely in support of that because I don't know how to gauge it. I'm not used to this. I just want 6 more wins, and then we can talk about it in detail more in the offseason. But I do know this. It would be a hell of a start to the Ohtani era, where he comes in his first year with all these issues that they had. This wasn't a team stacked like the Oakland A's in 1990 or the Mets in 1986. This was not a stacked team by any means. It was stacked at spring training, but it wasn't stacked in the end.
Didn't stay stacked long.
Smoltz, I believe, said the same thing. I think it might have been Joe Davis too, they were talking about it. And that's going to be probably the next phase for the Dodgers and Dave Roberts, should they win it, to where, okay, we got to figure out what the hell's going on with our pitchers and what the hell's going on here. I mean, I guess we sort of know what it's going on, the spin rates and the velocity. Yeah. But I don't know, Jeff, is this happening to other teams too?
Yeah, it is. It's not, publicized. It's not happening to as many big name players. This is why they're cutting back innings. So it's funny. Basketball created load management, but you're going to have to see it in baseball now. Your pen is going to be very, very important moving forward. So it's why Japan has longer rests between starts and deeper rotations. So what it is the MLB may have to go to that. So at some point in time, people said 5 days was enough. The way they are throwing, and it doesn't just start at the major league level. There's guys getting Tommy John surgery in high school because of this. So it's starting in an early age. Some of these guys are coming in already off of 2 injuries. They're slipping in the draft because of it. So it's going to have to get to a point where baseball has to really think about how long are we leaving these guys out there and how many days apart are we going to let them pitch is what it really starts to come down to. And you talk about game by game basis, Joe, sometimes it's inning by inning basis. You're winning games with 1 inning, right? You have 1 big inning and then they change things up on you. You just can't get them again. Or they get up on you and they bring their closer in the 3rd and their setup guy in the 4th, their hold guy in the 5th. And you're like, what just happened? And by the time you get to the later innings, it's the bottom of your lineup. They can bring in lower leverage relievers to get to them. And it's just, like you said, analytics is good when it's used in conjunction with the eye test and your gut and your years and years of baseball knowledge of being on the field. When you use those together, it is dangerous. It works. But if you just use analytics, then you're playing with fire. It's the ones that balance it, the Bruce Bochy's and stuff like that, who take the data, apply it to his train of thought, and then when he gets stuck somewhere, he looks at it and it helps him make decisions there. But he mostly goes off gut, but he does use it, right? So that's basically what it comes down to. Dave has to be a little bit more of that. And I think he has become that. And that's what's making things change. Real quick, salute to my guy DJ from Lakers in 5. Make sure to subscribe to Lakers in 5. That's my guy DJ over there, man. Great content, great show, good crew over there. Make sure to go subscribe. Good Lakers show over there. DJ, if you're working tonight, drive safe, brother. But that's essentially, Joe, what the game is going to become more and more over time. What I wonder is if at some point, this sounds crazy to say out loud, I don't think I've heard anyone mention this, but at some point you may see the starting pitcher become the center in basketball, where they're always going to matter, but they're going to matter less as this game grows and expands. And I think you may see rosters expand to include more bullpen arms to prevent these injuries over time. And I think it's going to become just abnormal for a pitcher to go past 5 innings, especially someone who throws with heat and spin and the torque on that elbow. I think we're coming to that. I think it's going to get closer to that. And I think that the money that starting pitchers make are going to start to decline, just like the big man in basketball.
I'd say the big man is back. I think it's more running backs in football.
That's a good ad, but they'll never be back.
You're right. The center was
like they were.
The center was kind of non-existent, probably
maybe 10 years almost.
Probably at least at the very least, probably since 2010 through 2020. Yeah. And as soon as Jokic and Embiid start winning MVPs, that started to become more relevant. Sabonis and all that. My question to you is, isn't that what they're doing already, though? They're pitching only 4 or 5 innings. So
in the playoffs,
Okay.
the regular season guys are still going north of 6.
Okay, so let's talk about the rest thing. This is a good. It's important to talk about this because this changes the direction of playoff baseball a little bit. Do you need an ace? Because we saw some aces get shellacked here recently too. Do you, as a starter, okay, let's put in that extra day of rest. If you have that extra day of rest, do you go 6-7 now?
I don't know. Yeah, that I don't know. That's what we have to. That's what they're gonna try. Probably that's what you're gonna start seeing. It'll probably be, you know, like the teams that do, like the Tampa Bays, the teams that always are kind of like the Trailblazers or the trendsetters when it comes to all this stuff. There's another team that does it. It's Tampa Bay. Who's the other one? There's another team that gets goofy at times. Was it the Royals? Did the Royals do that sometimes? But there's a couple of those teams. You know, the Rays were the first ones to do openers. They were the first one because they're very, very, very heavy analytical ran team. They kind of start a lot of these things. So you can see, or Joe, you may start seeing where it's like 3 bullpen guys open a game 3 different times to the lineup, and then you bring in like a 4-inning guy, 5-inning guy to eat up the middle of the game. I mean, you're going to see different combinations. I think teams are going to try different things so they find what works for them. But at the end of the day, I think no matter which way you play this, no matter how the puzzle fits, I think it all comes down to more days rest for guys who do more than 4 innings. And I think it's going to be less innings overall. And I think it's going to be less money because you're going to have to start paying more bullpen guys. And runs are going to become more of a premium. So the bats that can deliver those runs, their money goes up. The high leverage relievers' money goes up. So the money for the starters got to go down because they're going to be doing less work.
Are youngsters going to start training to be relief pitchers instead of starters?
Yeah.
And is the extra work in travel ball throughout their adolescence, is that an issue too? That's a question.
That's where it all starts. Like, because you can convert a guy later on, right? But if they've already had 2 Tommy Johns before they've even been drafted, you know what I mean? It's going to have to start at that level. But I feel like just like AAU, Joe, I think that system is too greedy. I don't think they ever have the kid's best interest in mind. So I don't know if it can start there. I don't know if it will start there. There's too much money in that for guys that don't make like major league level money. And they're not thinking about these guys for 10 years. They're thinking about them for 2 or 3. And they're trying to get everything they can out of them. And once their arm's gone, they just go find the next one. So it's going to be hard to change that. It's going to have to be the parents really, you know, that hold their kids back. And that's tough too.
Does Major League Baseball open up a 30-man roster so that you can accommodate the pitching?
Yeah, I think your audio is cutting in and out there. You went robotic there for a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's just how's the chat? How do I sound okay? Is it both of us or is it just on Joe's end? I hear like his voice was cutting in and out there. Let me know in the chat real quick.
Do you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's just like
it's still robotic right now.
There we go. Now you're good.
Okay.
Now you're good. All right, let me touch on a couple of these questions real quick. Let me see. Chris says, Jeff and Joe, is Edman considered a poor man's Trey Turner for us right now, or is that disrespectful to Edman? I think Edman is more on the lines of a better level Chris Taylor that we had when we had Chris Taylor. Trey Turner was on a different level. Joe, you can give your thoughts on this. I think Trey Turner, if you're calling him a poor man's Trey Turner, I think he's better defensively than Trey Turner. He plays more positions than Trey Turner. I think his comp is a better Chris Taylor than he is a poor man's Trey Turner. What do you think, Joe?
I agree. I don't think Edman has any similarities to Trey. And I would actually trust Edman over Trey in high pressure situations.
Me too. Good comparison.
But Trey has him on. Trey has him on the slides.
His slides are incredible. His slides are definitely incredible. Joe is a calm guy when Cool Bro is not around. I don't know who Cool Bro is. I hear his name all the time though. But
Cool Bro is a 15-year-old kid who. 15-year-old kid.
15-year-old kid. Gotcha. What's on JSJ? Haven't seen you for a while. Let's see. What's going on, Roy? Appreciate you tuning in. Dodger fans, not to get ahead of ourselves, but the World Series starts on a Tuesday. World Series tickets go on sale tomorrow morning. We will host the first 2 games at home. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So if we win tomorrow, Joe, and I think we have the momentum, and we got Yamamoto on the mound, our pen's going to pitch again. The bat smelled blood. If we win tomorrow, do we come back to LA for this series?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think tomorrow is likely the Mets' last-ditch effort to tie this. If they tie it, this series there's a higher probability of this series going 7 at that point.
Yeah,
it's just I can't really gauge a bullpen session. It's very difficult. So that means Buhler would pitch Game 7.
Game 7.
Which
Buhler in the pen
would be interesting. An interesting way to end this. But I mean, come on, man. The Dodgers are better than a Game 7 against the Mets.
I don't think it goes 7, Joe.
I know the Mets are. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this. I said it to you like 10 times. They are the best team since June.
Yeah, I know, right?
We've heard that damn line at least 20 times in this series, and it's only been 3 games. And I don't know why they keep bringing it up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why at this moment. It can change. That's baseball, and I get it. But based off what we've seen right now, I don't care what anyone says. There wasn't a better team than the San Diego Padres that the Dodgers played. And they're not playing anyone that's left that's better than that team. I truly believe this, that had the Dodgers lost to San Diego, I felt very comfortable that the Padres were going to win it all.
Yep.
What does that tell you?
Yep.
Right? And the reason why, and I'll end this on this, and then I'll let you do your thing, Jeff, here. The reason why the Dodgers are better than the Padres is because they got better players, and I think they make the right plays when it matters the most. And they did. They make the plays when it matters, and they did. And the way they won Game 4 and 5 essentially was a kind of a signal to let everyone know that we're the best team. We've been the best team here for a very long time. And we got screwed at a two World Series, and we were reeling since. We've reeled since. Yeah, we won a championship in 2020, but it's been because imagine if you win those 2 series. Imagine if the Dodgers won in 17 and 18 and then in 20. I don't know if necessarily, maybe they still blow 2019, but it doesn't hurt as much. Do they blow it in 2020? You know what I mean? 2023 maybe doesn't work. And 2021, you notice I don't ever talk about 2021. I was exhausted watching the 2021 series. It was very entertaining. The run with the Giants was, I mean, it was, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it was it was better than the 1993 run that they had. And the reason why is because they ended up meeting in the playoffs. So 93
never happens.
For 93, for those of you who don't remember, the Giants won 103 games and missed the playoffs, and they got beat the last game of the year against the Giants, and the Dodgers ended up kicking them out. So, granted, it's not the same thing. The Dodgers weren't in it, but they were basically the playoff killer for the Giants. So here we are, 2021. They go and they win on the road in 5, and then you see how tired they were in those first 2 games that Atlanta won, and it was a wrap after that. 2022 was the 19 and 22. 22 was a real nut punch. I really thought with the pitching, we had everything.
22 killed.
And we won 1, and we win the first game. So yeah, it's a reminder that, look, we've finally put this thing together here. They got to win 2 more games here. And then I feel very confident that that the Mets were the second team in this playoff run next to the Padres.
You have the Mets higher than the Yankees?
I have the Mets higher than the Yankees. And I told you,
interesting.
The Yankees love to strike out.
They got swing and miss for sure.
If you want to swing and miss against this team and this bullpen, please, by all means, keep doing what you're doing. The Dodgers, if they don't make mistakes should they just go further, I just don't see how this is gonna work for the Yankees. I really don't. But if it does, they start hitting bombs left and right, then we'll have to deal with the fact that we're playing the Phillies in 08 and 09. Everything was a goddamn home run in that.
That Matt Stairs home run, just absolute bomb.
08 was a lost World Series. I don't know if we would have beaten the Yankees in 09. No, I
don't think 09. I think. But
the Phillies were better. The Phillies were better than the Dodgers.
The Phillies were better, but the run that Manny came in on, that's a bat you ride all the way.
08 was the year. 08, the Dodgers should have won that series, and they would have beaten the Rays. I have no doubt they would have beaten the Rays, and they would have won a championship in the most unbelievable trade deadline acquisition.
Never saw that coming.
No,
never saw that coming. That
Clyde Drexler going to Houston in '95.
Yeah, that was, and he arrived on fire. I remember the two moves that year was Manny to the Dodgers, Teixeira to the Angels, and they both went ballistic when they got to their teams. But Manny was just hitting nukes, like just killing things. And that's a move, and that's a player that you can carry you to a championship. And it just didn't work because those damn Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins and Victorino and Doc Holliday. Cliff Lee was on that team, right? Cliff Lee and who was their third guy? Who was their third pitcher? Wasn't Pedro there at the end? Wasn't Pedro there in 08, 09? He went to the Phillies. There was another guy. It was it was Cole Hamels, Doc Holliday, Cliff Lee, and then Pedro was there. One of those, and it was like, my God, man. And then they had the bats, man. Who's there? They had a big first bat. Ryan. Who's their first baseman? Ryan Howard. And they just had dudes that would just absolutely just lit up against us. We couldn't stop them. And that pinch hit home run by Matt Stairs and just absolute clapped it down the right into the night in right field, man. But that 2008 felt like a wasted one too. And then the organization was nowhere near well ran then. Like that was
no, not at all. 08, 14 were preludes to what eventually ended up happening.
Yeah.
The Dodgers should have won a championship in 08. They should have won one in 14. They would have faced the Giants, who they owned that year, and I believe they would have beaten whomever they faced. Didn't matter who it was, whether it was the Royals, whether it was Rangers, it didn't matter.
The Dodgers ended up losing to the World Series champion so many times. It's no consolation, but it doesn't change the fact that it's true. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, and 23's team went to the World Series. And this year, we're right there. So it's not like
the 15 Mets beat us, right? They beat us.
They went to the World Series. They didn't win it, but
every team they lost to
went to the World Series, except for the Padres. Except for the Padres in 22.
Yeah, Padres shit the bed
against Philly, right? Wasn't it Philly? Yeah. So it was, but outside of that, they have lost to the team that's gone on to win it all. And if they don't play them, it's funny how it happens, right? Because we did get the toughest. We did get the Padres. But I felt that even though the Mets were on fire, I think the Brewers and the Phillies would have been very tough teams. The Mets knocked them out for us, to be honest. Like, to not have to face at least one of them, even though the Mets are the Cinderella and the energy team, those were two good teams. Now the Mets beat them both, but that's what I kept telling people. We got all these teams, but we only got to play two. And the National League, Joe, was so stacked that I think that's why the wild card team, except for the Mets, that's why the 3 or 4 this time got in. It was just the teams in the National League, especially, were just so good. And but the Mets did knock out the 3 seed and the 2nd seed. on the way to meeting us. And I felt the magic was going to run out when they faced us, because I truly believe when it's all said and done, because of things you've talked about, things I've mentioned, I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be the Dodgers that really were the magical team of 2024, with just that whole thing you broke down of all just depleted team. I cannot remember a depleted team winning the World Series. It would be like if the Atlanta Braves this year went to the World Series and won it, because they were pretty depleted too. So it would be like that. I've never seen that before. I've seen lesser teams win it, but I've never seen depleted teams win it. And this will be the first time. And the greatness of Ohtani, the resurgence of Dave Roberts as a manager, and just all these different things of guys giving more and taking it to the next level. Never seen that before from a team who's lost their people. I've seen guys play above their heads that weren't better than the team they're facing, but beat them. I've never seen a team that was pulled down to the playing field of everyone else and rose to the occasion while being depleted. Never seen that before.
They're kind of having a carousel right now. So as soon as a couple guys hit the dumps, a couple other guys pick up the slack, and then they keep taking turns. The difference in this run is I am in firm believement that there's a mental change that happened after Game 3 against the Padres. There was this mental change. They lost Game 2 at home 2 days ago, and then they come in and they drop another 8-0 score. That tells me that there is a switch that these guys are playing with that just doesn't allow them to worry about games that they lose. And once they feel like they got their pitcher doing what he needs to do, the starter, then it's like that switch completely turns on. They're like, okay, Buhler gave us 4. I was watching the excitement of that dugout at 4 innings. I'm going, why are you so excited?
Yeah. He didn't even know he was coming out yet. And
I'm going, okay, I guess the game is over. That's what I thought. And it was. It was over. These games, they feel like, oh, hey, guys, just give us 4 innings. We got this. And then if you want to give them another inning or 2, then it's all. Then it's 4 runs. Shoot. Look, keep it going. I'll be nervous for the next week and a half. I'll be nervous enough to where it hurts, but just give me 6 more wins. And then you said something that I love, by the way. My favorite part of sports, besides the euphoria of the initial win, of course, that's always going to be number 1. But my favorite elongated time of sports.
Elongated?
Yes. I did go to college and I did graduate. is talking in the off season and spring, like before the season, about what's the new season gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Champs. You're the champ for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine this, guys. Imagine how fun it was when the three-peat Lakers were doing the thing. Man, we were happy for 3 years. You have any idea how long 3 years is?
Felt like a 3-year vacation, Joe.
Every year we were just sitting there drinking our drinks and, all right, can we back to back? Can we three-peat? Can we four-peat? Like that was the enjoyment of all that. And that's the stuff I enjoy. That's the stuff that makes everybody happy. You're not hurting if you lose the opener next year. You're not hurting if you start slow.
If you lose a game in the game 1 in the playoffs.
You're gonna feel pretty good. And next year, of course, I was talking to my friend about this. I said, it's not gonna be hilarious, but I just had the thought come through my head. I said, you know how baseball is? Watch, they'll have 4 pitchers next year, all healthy. And they'll lose in
Ohtani will hit 70 home runs.
Right. And that's baseball. And I think my body and my mind is starting to understand that we are in a completely different game. Now, here's the thing. It's kind of been that way anyways. There hasn't been a repeat champ since 2000. I mean, that's a quarter of a century.
They've gotten close, but yeah.
Yeah. The Phillies got close in 2009.
That was the Blue Jays, right?
Huh?
Did someone repeat after the Blue Jays?
No.
Oh, the Yankees.
Yeah. Blue Jays
Yeah,
won
tripping.
92, 93.
Yeah, Yankees. I'm tripping.
And they were still champions after 94 when the strikeout.
Yeah.
Then you
Yankees
had
back to back.
Yeah, then you had the Yankees won in 96, and then they three-peated in 98, 99, 2000. They could have four-peated if Rivera could have closed out Arizona. I love Mariano. I really do. I have so much respect for him.
Me too. That one's still
sad thing, and I told this to my Yankee buddy. I said, you know what, man? You know what really sucks? Because I love, you've heard me say this, Jeff. I love greatness. I love greatness. And I go, man, I really, really, I hate that this is how it is. All those saves, the most clutch pitcher in the history of baseball in my lifetime and in my viewership is Mariano Rivera. But the only two games I remember him in, like vividly, is the 2003 Game 4,
Boston.
And then, of course, the 2001 Game 7 against Arizona. Those are the only ones I think of when it comes to.
You could play that game 100 more times and it would end the opposite way. Like, that's what's baseball. That's what made it special. Craig Counsell, man. like it was. I remember watching that game live in a theater at a place. I was training. I was at a new job and they had this huge like training center. It was basically a theater. And we went back after that day and we're like, we're gonna go back and watch the game. There was like 20 of us in there just watching it. It's this huge theater. And I just remember I'm just talking trash, to repping for the Yankees. And man, when they got that hit, when Mariano came in, that's game over. That's game over. You don't beat that guy. And he got beat. And that is exactly what it is right there. Like you said, that's baseball, man.
And that's
absolutely baseball.
Okay, Bill Mazeroski, the 1950. Okay, I'm going back because I'm a history buff too. So the Yankees win 3 games in that series in complete blowouts, and they lose all 4 games. I think it was 1 run in each of the 4. I have to go look, but they were close. And Mazeroski sends them home.
And they had the lead in that game.
They did.
And it burns me that the Yankees lost in 2001. Like less than 2 months after 9/11, right? That's the one. Like you just felt it was just lined up for him to be that story. Craig Counsell, man. Craig effing Counsell.
It's tough. It's tough. It's because when you're a competitor, and Kobe was asked this question too about his titles, and he's said 5 before and talked some smack about it. But when he's been sat down and they ask him, "What's up?" He's like, I should have 7, and he's right. His career changes on those 2 accomplishments, and I've gone into so much detail on that.
Yeah, I think he gets more than 7 if he gets that 2004 one alone. But because we go down a whole different path here with that, but yeah, it's
but again, it's the point of the discussion is we don't know. It's not the NBA before maybe this last few years, of course. Now it's kind of watered down a little bit, so teams are winning 1 at a time. And of course the Patriots. I don't know. I guess the Chiefs still have something because the NFL has made the quarterback so important that it's kind of muddled the water.
Can't touch them.
But in baseball, with this issue with the pitchers, I don't know how to solve this problem other than figuring out a way to expand the rosters. They'd have to expand the rosters, I think, to 30 instead of 26. Then you have 4 extra pitchers. As far as you're looking at on the 6-day, 7-day rests, Could you imagine pitching each week? Would that make a difference? What if you pitched every week?
Yeah.
Let's say you pitch on Monday, right? And most of the schedules go from Monday, let's just use this as an example. Monday through Saturday, you have 6 starting pitchers. And then you don't pitch until the following Monday every week. Does that solve the problem? Does that allow the starter to go 6 every game?
Someone's gonna have to try that. Someone will. They're gonna get very creative with this stuff. I'm telling you. Watch Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is gonna do something crazy. They always
Really?
do.
What do they got over there that they're doing that stuff?
They're a small market, right? They've got a very good organization. They don't got a lot of money, so they've got to try things, right? They got to get goofy, and it's why they're kind of relevant every year. They didn't make the playoffs this year, but their games are exciting. They do crazy stuff. They typically do make or contend for the playoffs at a very small market, and it's because the goofy stuff they do. and when they figure out something and it works, the rest of the league takes it. So they're kind of like the think tank of Major League Baseball. So they're going to do something, and they'll come up with something, and many will copy it and duplicate it and try to go from there. You know, their field just got blown to shit with that. It's not funny, but it's like the roof is gone. I'm just like, it's just God, I feel bad for laughing at that. But it's just I can't believe that happened.
The roof looked like Teflon, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it was just
They put a lot of effort in did they really put a lot of effort in that? It's like when the levees broke, you know, they did. You would think that New Orleans back in the late 2000s, they would have prepared for this, you know, but that's the issue with a lot of these. Okay, and I know I'm probably sounding harsh and insensitive, but there was a guy in Galveston, Texas. They have houses all across the beach, okay? When the Category 5 or 4 or whatever hurricane came, every house was gone except one. And that guy put in the work, and it was the only house left. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the famous astrophysicist, right? He I'm not a particularly big fan of his, but every time I get online, it seems like his stuff comes to me.
You have like a top 5 astrophysicists list?
Yeah, well, he's kind of a chode, but that's for a different time. But he says something that makes so much sense. He goes, if we just focused on what really matters, like advancements in things, spending our money on things that really can help us, we wouldn't have these problems. And this is correlating with my discussions when it comes to Walmart mentality. The Walmart mentality. I want cheap, 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 cheap.
Here we go.
It's too late. It's too late. And then those cheap assholes criticize those who spend money. Oh, well, they're only good because they spend money. No shit. If you buy cigarettes and alcohol and spending money on cars you can't afford, maybe you'd have some money too. So there's a mentality that's attached to this, and people don't even realize it. That if you think cheap, if you think basic, and then at the same time you're upset at the people who have them, well, maybe you need to start looking in the mirror and wondering why. Why are the Dodgers all of a sudden doing what they're doing? Oh, well, because the Guggenheims own them. You know how many rich owners there are?
Tons.
Okay.
Tons.
They're all billionaires. Why are the Guggenheims doing it? They don't even the only thing Guggenheim I ever knew was they own like NASA or something.
And they're an investment firm, really.
Yeah. I don't even like what baseball, really? They hire Magic as a face, and then they have these phenomenal operational guys, Caston and Gomi and Friedman. Okay. They don't have to spend $300 million, do they really? But again, in the end, I want to extend that appreciation that, my God, through all the BS still, man, how much fun have we had in the last decade watching Dodger baseball?
Yep.
Chris Taylor's clinching home run against St. Louis. Belly hitting the home run in Game 7 against Atlanta. Kiki tying it in Game 7.
What are you guys making those pitches? Mookie making those catches. Mookie making those throws.
Mookie making 2 of those huge. I mean, we've seen so much stuff. And I remember saying this about the Lakers in the 2000s. My God, Ori's shot.
All the moments.
Kobe's game winner in game 2 against Phoenix. And, of course, Indiana. Like, I don't think we've understood how fortunate we are to have watched the sports games that we've watched in our life the last decade from our team. And it's a little bit drained because we got screwed by 2 asshole pieces of shit that cheated. That could have changed the trajectory of this whole thing. Kershaw would have been at the very least, a 2-time champ, and he would have had a World Series MVP. The narrative on his career would have been completely different, even though he's going to be a Hall of Fame and all that. But imagine if Kershaw has a World Series MVP in his pocket and two World Series. So we appreciate it, I think, more later, and we should appreciate it during the time too. And I can a little bit more if they win the title. I've appreciated a lot of the games that the Lakers have won, of course, 2020. I'll go back and look at Urias's closeout in Atlanta, closeout in Tampa. Those are very, very, very just exciting. It's unfortunately, he destroyed his career. We'd have loved to have him this year, but actually, I don't think he would have came back last year anyways. He probably would have signed somewhere else. But point is, there's been some amazing baseball played by the Dodgers, and we were there to witness it. Chris Taylor's catch in Milwaukee today.
Oh, that catch was huge. That bleeding home run in that game. Chris Taylor's catch. Yeah. There's so many moments, man. We're forgetting some. Like, there's so many moments.
Oh, there's a lot. There's probably been up until except for 22 and 23. The ones in the past, the ones before it have been every playoff run had some epic moment.
Yeah, like even they talked about even the one we lost. There's epic moments when we lost. Muncy had a walk-off home run in the World Series in extra innings. That crazy game in Houston was that game 3 or 4? Game 5. That crazy game in game. Sorry, I'm tripping. Game 5. Like there's these crazy moments that we had even in the series that we lost that still made it incredible. That Washington series that we lost in 2019, going back and winning that game in Washington, coming back to losing game 5. Like, there's been, what's up, Lucky? There has been so many, don't unplug that cord, man. There's so many moments that we've had. And talk about the money part when you get back to it. There's a reason why the Kansas City Royals all of a sudden made the playoffs. They spent $100 million this offseason, and that's not a lot of money for a lot of teams. But there's a lot of teams that don't even spend 30, right? They went out and got some starting pitching. They made some moves. They invested in their team, and they made the playoffs. The Padres, even though they can drive us nuts and they're punks, I actually respect what they're doing as an organization, going all in for what's technically labeled a small market team in San Diego. They don't operate as one. They're operating as a mega market team, right? You gotta appreciate that a team is doing that, right? It sucks. It's one of our rivals is spending money, but one of our division rivals is spending money. But outside of that, like you said, a lot of these teams could be doing this because, like you said, they've all got multi-billionaire owners. They're just not spending the money. And the Dodgers are, and everyone sit back and talking about all the Dodgers and this deferred money stuff. Every team in the league can do it. This isn't something that only the Dodgers knew. Teams just don't want to spend the money.
It's the loser mentality.
An hour later. Yeah.
It's the loser mentality. And by the way, I don't dislike the Padres.
I don't either.
For God's sakes, baseball needs some attitude. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The series against, how is it every time it's always the Dodgers? Like the Giants in 2021 and the Dodgers. There was a lot of attitude there, right? You had it with the Yankees and Red Sox years ago. That's gone. There's no attitude.
It's gone, yeah.
Attitude. We want a reason. Major League Baseball needs attitude, and they need high-profile teams to make it to the World Series. And the Dodgers and the Yankees are 2 wins away from giving Major League Baseball the ultimate wet dream that's going to be reality. You're going to have the best 2 players on the planet playing against each other in the 2 best. I'm sorry, Cardinals. I know that they have a say in the second best franchise in baseball history, but I still think the Dodgers are second because I'm biased. Dodgers and Yankees New York, LA, two biggest markets, and then you have the two best players on each team in the league, both going to be MVPs. How can you not be romantic about that? That is exactly what this needs to be.
Yep. And I can't wait for it, man. So on that note, about an hour.
On that note, again, Jeff, I want to thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
The people spoke. I wasn't planning on coming on, but
no. You're not.
I want to thank you for, and again, I want you to dictate that as much as you can. I enjoy it. Even in the losses, I'll come on. I couldn't come on for game 3 because I was out of town. I couldn't even make it to my own yesterday. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be on the show. I'm looking forward to more shows here and obviously more shows with us as well.
Yeah.
I am going to be doing the Lakers Fast Break here in about 6 minutes as well. So for those of you, once you're finished with Jeff's show, we'll be having our show. And Jeff, if you have the energy, if Lucky doesn't need a walk right away, come on, boy. Come on by, brother. You're always welcome.
Gotcha. Appreciate it. And you are too. So thank you as well for making the time.
Thanks again. And I'm absolutely having a blast doing this show with you. I really, really enjoy it.
We both love baseball, man. And
yes,
we're building a community that already did love baseball, and we're bringing basketball people into baseball. So anyone who wants to be part of that conversion, they're welcome. You know what I mean? Because
if you ever want to do a football show, believe it or not, football, NFL.
Yeah, we can. I've got an idea for football. Football, I'm not as great at football as I am in basketball. I'm okay. I'm good enough.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I'm good enough.
I got enough information for both of us.
Yeah, I'm good enough, but I can't get into the gutter like I can with baseball and basketball, and I know that. You know what I mean? But I learn. You know what I mean? And
I'm glad you got the baseball and basketball, because a lot of my people don't do basketball.
Those I can do in my sleep. You know what I mean? Football.
We're good for life then there.
yeah. So appreciate you, Joe. Thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out Lakers Fast Break after this stream is over. Joe did a great job tonight. He's done a great job every time he's on here. And like I said, he will definitely be on more. Just in the beginning, I just really wanted to get through some of the chats because, once I've got someone on a panel, I can't get to all the chats as much as I like to. And I really like to get I really like to try to get to, Lucky's going crazy over here. Sorry, guys. I really like to try to get to all the chats, as many as possible, because that's kind of what we do here on the channel. So, but definitely, probably do that again, get to those out the gate, and then bring a guest or two on, bring Joe in. And eventually we'll probably start taking call-ins too. This will be like Dodger Talk, right? We can get on, we can take a couple calls, take a couple questions and stuff like that too. So just building it out. Make sure to go over and check out Lakers Fast Break with Joe and Gerald after this is done. And just great night of baseball, man. Great night of baseball. Dodgers beat the New York Mets 8-0. Dominant pitching performance by Walker Buehler. Dominant day at the plate by the Dodger bats. And once again, a dominant performance by the Dodgers high leverage relievers again tonight, who are still giving up nothing, the high leverage guys. So incredible win. They took back home field advantage. They're in position now to potentially not come home for another game in LA if they can handle business in the next two. It will not be easy. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. Even in a blowout, it still feels like this team can strike at any moment. But I believe the Dodgers can get it done. Will they? That remains to be seen, and we will be watching it together. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Hit you guys with 2 shows today, a pregame, a postgame. You guys were here rocking out, man. I thank you guys. You guys could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. We got game 3. Let's go get game 4. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. You enjoy your Thursday. Have a good day. Let's go, Dodgers. Let's get this win tomorrow. Thank you guys again. Love y'all. I'm out of here. Search, appreciate you. Best in the game. Love you, Search. All right, guys. You guys have a good one, man. I'm out of here.